Good morning. Today I Purnima is going to explain the poem "The Road Not Taken," and it's written by a very famous poet, Robert Frost. So let me tell you something about the poet. Then I will be telling you about the background of the poetry, and then the explanation will take part. So children, first of all, I will be telling you about Robert Frost. So Robert Frost was he was born on March 26, 1874 from San Francisco. So he was born in San Francisco in 1874. After the death of his father, he moved with his mother and sister to Lawrence, Massachusetts. He became interested in reading and writing poetry during his high school years. Frost drifted a string of occupation after leaving a school, working as a teacher, cobbler, and editor. So children, he worked as a teacher also, he worked as a cobbler also, he worked as an editor also. His first published poem, My Butterfly, appeared on November 8, 1894 in the New York newspaper, The Independent. In 1895, Frost got married to Mariam, who was a major inspiration for his poetry until her death in 1938. The couple moved to England in 1912. After they had tried and failed in farming, Frost was influenced by the British poet Ezra Pound. A British poet helped Frost to promote and publish his work. Robert Frost lived and taught for many years in Manchester and in Vermont. He died in Boston on January 29, 1963. So, central idea of the poet, I am going to tell you about the central idea of the poem. The poem is about the struggle while making decision in life. So children, this poem is about that it is very tough to take decisions in one's life. We have to think so many times while taking the decision. We think, and then also children, we stand at a point where we are not able to take decision of our life. So there are two paths to follow. Now children, when you will see the poem, you will see that he is standing at a point where two roads are diverged in front of him and he has to travel only on one of the paths. So similarly children, when we take a decision, we have so many decisions, it comes and goes in our mind, but we have to take only one decision. The one on which everyone walks and the other that is opposite of the crowd. So there are two roads in front of him in which everybody walks and in which one is away from the crowd. So the poem is about his struggle. The person in the poem has to describe whether to follow the crowd or to take the other road and make his own path. So children, there are two roads in front of it, in which one is full of crowd and in which the other road where nobody walked. So he has to choose, he has to decide which road he has to follow. The one where there is a lot of crowd, or one there is the other road where he has to make his own path in his life. Now he has his own personality, he keeps on thinking, he refuses to do ordinary things just because everyone else does them. So children, he refused to do ordinary things because everyone else does them. In the end, he chooses a path that hasn't had many travelers. So in the end, he chooses a path where they don't have any traveler. He knows that it will be better for him, but he also acknowledges that he can never know what would have happened to him if he had chosen the other path. Now children, the theme of the poetry. So here the theme of the poetry is that one day the speaker, traveling all alone, reaches a point where the road divides into two. He faces the situation of uncertainty. He thinks which road he should take to continue his journey. So children, the speaker is all alone. He is traveling. He has to travel and he is all alone. He reaches a point where the road divides into two. So he reaches a point where roads divides into two. He faces the situation of uncertainty. He thinks which road he should take to continue his journey. So he is very upset, he is very sad, he is thinking which road he should continue to take his journey. He is unable to decide which road to follow. Now children, he is not able to decide which road he should follow. He pauses for a long time. He gives a careful thought to which path he should follow. So he stands for a longer period of time and children, he don't know which road to follow. Then he decided to choose the road which seems to be less traveled. Now children, he decide to choose the road which seems to be less traveled. He feels that it will make a big difference in his future. He decides to save the other road for another day. Though he knows that he will never get a chance to get back, he takes such a difficult decision. Later he wishes that he would also try the other path. The speaker feels that after ages from now, he would be telling about his decision with a sigh of relief. He would tell how the less frequented path had made all the difference in his life. The poet presents the difficulty of making a choice in life. We cannot travel on all the paths available to us. We have to make a choice. The uncertainty faced by the speaker in making his choice is the uncertainty that we all face at some point of our life. We all have to make a choice. Only the future will reveal whether the choice made by us is right or wrong. But one can't go back or changes the choice. Choices and decisions are like our step that carry us forward. So children, this is all about the background of the poem, and I'm going to read the important main points of the poem. The speaker is a bold and courageous person. He desires to do something new in his life. But he is in a difficult situation. He has reached a turning point where he has to make a decision. He is in a difficult situation. He has reached a turning point where he has to make a decision. There are two paths before him. One is less traveled and the other is completely beaten. He desires to travel on the less traveled path. The narrator knows that the decision which he takes now will make a big difference in his life. Therefore, he has to take the correct decision. The speaker also knows that we cannot travel on all the roads available to us. But the journey made with the right decision always makes a difference. If he takes a decision and goes forward, he is unable to go back and changes his decision because he knows the truth that one decision has a great value. He keeps the other path reserved for the next occasion. He also has a desire to travel on the other road, but now he wants to do something different. He thinks that one day he will be in a position to tell the story of his decision. He will tell the people that our life depends on the decision that we take now. Hence, it can be said the present holds the future. So, children, I am going to read the poem and then we will discuss the children. I will be doing the explanation of the lesson. So children, I am going to read the poem now, The Road Not Taken. This well-known poem is about making choices in one's life and the choices that shape us. Robert Frost, who was an American poet and who writes simply but insightfully about common ordinary experiences. Okay, so two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted fear, though as for that the passing there had found them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden back. Black, oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less travelled by. And that has made all the difference in my life. So children, this road is written by Robert Frost. Okay. And now I will be explaining you the first paragraph, first stanza of the poem. Okay. That is, first paragraph is: two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. So there are two roads which has diverged in a yellow wood, and he is feeling sorry. He is telling, diverge means, children, to separate. So what is the meaning of diverge? To separate. So the poem is telling, two roads are being diverged, they are being separated in a yellow color wood. I'm sorry I could not travel both. And children, he is telling, it is not easy to travel on both the roads together. He can travel one roads at one time and be one traveler. He is telling, he cannot, traveler means a person who travels. He cannot travel on both the road together. He has to be only one traveler at a one time. Now children, the thing is that he is not knowing which road he should travel. He is telling, long I stood. He stood for a longer time and looked down one as far as I could. And children, after standing for a longer time, he started looking at both the roads, that which road he should take, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Undergrowth, children, is the children bushes at the end of the road. So he is telling, both the roads at the end, they bent in the undergrowth. That means at the end of the road, bushes were there, forests, small woods were there. So both the roads look same. Okay, so he is not able to decide that which road he should take. So there were two roads before the speaker, and children, at the end there were a lot of bushes and small wood, that means small old forest was there at the end of both the roads. So he is not able to decide, both the road look equally same. So he is not able to decide at which road he should take. And then children, he thinks that can he travel on both the road, but it is impossible to travel on both the roads. Okay, and both the roads seem to be bent in the undergrowth. So children, he is standing at a point and he is not able to decide that which road he should take. Second paragraph. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. So children, he is telling, first of all I will be like to telling you the word meaning. Okay, I will be writing the word meaning, and then So what he is telling? He is telling fear. First of all, note down the meaning of some important word. Fear means nice. Claim means demand. Claim means demand. Grassy is full of grass. Though is in spite of something. So children, he then took the other just as fair. So the two roads were there where he was standing, and he was not able to decide at which road he should take. Okay, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. So he is telling that two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Okay, and sorry I could not travel both. He's telling he is not able to decide which road he should choose. So children, he is standing at a point and he is thinking which road he should take, and now he has decided a road he had chosen which was looking as nice as the first one and having perhaps the better claim, and that road was also demanding that he should walk on that road, because it was grassy and wanted wear. It was full of grass, and children, it wanted wear. Wear means it wanted that somebody should travel on that road, though as far that the passing there had warned them really about the same. So children, the road which had decided, which was it was not chosen by the other people. Okay, that's why he is in dilemma to which road he should take. They symbolize the two options or alternatives in our life. So children, he is not able to decide that though they symbolize the two options or alternatives in our life. So he now chooses the other road which is as nice as the first one and having perhaps a better claim. So it is also demanding the same thing, that somebody should travel on it. It was full of grass and it wanted that somebody should tram those grasses, though as far that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And children, as far as it was concerned, both the children were claiming that everybody should travel on them. Okay, so fair means, children, here fair means, that means the right path or the correct path. Wanted wear means, children, that the road had not been used too much and the road wanted that somebody should travel on it. Okay, the road wanted that somebody should travel on it. They symbolize the two option or alternative in our life. So this road, they are symbolizing the two option or alternative in their life. Now the third stanza. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. So children, he is telling, and both that morning equally lay. Okay, so both the morning, both the roads lay equally. In leaves no step had trodden black. Trodden means walked over. Oh, I kept the first one for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Doubt means uncertainty. No means to have information. Lay means placed horizontally, and trodden means walked over. So then took the other. So he is telling he took the other road. And both that morning equally. One children, that day he did not travel. Again he came there the next morning. In front of him both the roads were lying equally. In leaves no step had trodden black. Till now nobody had traveled on those roads, because the leaves were not trodden. Okay, trodden means nobody walked over on those roads. Oh, I kept the first one, and that he had taken his decision. He is telling that he had kept the first road for another day whenever he will have time. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, he knew that one way will lead to another and reach on that first road also. I doubted if I should ever come back, but he's doubting if he will ever come back and travel on the first road, as there is a lack of time also. I shall be telling this with a sigh. So children, the poet doubted if he should ever come back to the same road. He kept the first road for another day. Had the leaves turned black due to the step of the walker, the leaves had not turned black due to the step of the walker. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. So he is telling, sigh means to take a deep breath. Now he is telling that he had decided to choose on the second road, which was less travelled by the person. Okay. So he is telling, now that thing I will be telling with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood. That means he would be, it means children, he had decided to take another, to travel on another road. He chose the road which was less travelled by the travelers. That means children, he decided to accept the challenges of life. The poet had two options with him. Okay. So, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Difference here means a point or way in which people or things are not the same. So, children, the poet had two options with him. The less travelled road he had took, it had made all the difference in his life. Now, so now the last, with this children, I had completed the poem. Now the some of the children, first thing, what do the two roads represent here? Okay, the two roads difference represent the problem of decision making here. So it's in the form of a road. He is telling that two roads symbolize the decision making in one's life. Human beings suffer because of their choices and decisions. They find themselves in such situation at every step in their life. Out of the available option, that they have to choose the one that may take them to their destination. The choice decides the outcome in the life. Okay. So now children, we will be doing the textual question and answer. Where does the traveler find himself? What problem did he face? The traveler find himself at a point where two roads are diverged. His problem in to decide on which road he should walk. Discuss what the phrases mean to you. Yellow wood in the children. Yellow wood means a forest in the autumn season. It was grassy and wanted wear. That means the road was grassy because it was less travelled. It was a less travelled road. The passing there, it implies walking on the road. Leaves no step had trodden black. It means the leaves had not been crushed under the feet of traveller. How one road leads to another. How one way leads to another. Is there any difference between the two roads as the poet described them in stanza 2 and 3 in the last line of the poem? So there is no difference between the two roads in stanza 2 and 3. In the last two lines of the poem, the poet tells us that the road he opted for is less traveled by. Now, what do you think the last two lines of the poem mean? The last two lines have the quintessence of the poem. The poet expresses his opinion that it becomes difficult for a normal human being to change his or her decision. The narrator intends to walk on the first road, but he could not do so because life does not offer multiple choices to choose. The decision taken may mar one's future, makes one future, or lead one to success. It makes all the difference. He now represents for not getting a chance to travel on the first road. Now, children, second part, this is for you have to describe your own experiences here. So, second part I'm leaving to you. Now, some additional question. What was the speaker opinion about both the roads? The speaker opinion that both the roads were the same. They were equally traveled and there was no difference between them. So he got confused. It was difficult to decide on which road he should travel. He wanted to choose the one that would take him to his intended destination. What do the road represent? So this I told you. Why did the speaker choose the less traveled road? The speaker chose that road because it was less traveled. He wanted to do those activities which had not been done to anyone earlier. He did not seem to be interested in choosing a much trodden path of life. Avoiding the popular rat race, he opted for the option that broke fresh ground for him. What is the message of the poem? The message of the poem is to make people aware of their analytic skill. They should think, children, it is very difficult to take decisions, so they should think a lot before taking the decision. The poet wishes to say that choices should be made carefully and thoughtfully. One should behave responsibly because life does not offer multiple chances every now and then. Did the speaker make the right choice? It is not easy to say whether the speaker made the right choice or not. He himself could not reach any such conclusion. It is possible that he may repent for making such a choice. He avoided the popular and off-beaten path of life. He dared to choose the path which was less frequently used by the people. The bold decision might make all the difference in his life. Why did the speaker take the other road? Why did the other road have a better claim than the first road? The speaker had to choose one of the two roads. He left the one which was a popular choice. He decided to take the other road which was less frequently traveled by the people. So children, by the people, the other road had a better claim as it was grassy. It invited the people to walk on it. Was the speaker certain to come back on the road he had left for another day? Life and its ways are complex and confusing. One road leads to another. In this way, one has to make a choice. The speaker left the one road and hoped that he would use it another day, but he was quite doubtful. It often happens that the road that is left once is left forever. Rarely do we come on to that road again. How does the outcome of our life depend on the choice we make to reach our destination? Life is full of complexity. It provides us with a different choice and option. The choice is never easy. Our success or failure depends on the choice that we make. Mostly people choose the most popular or frequented path of life, but some bold and adventurous people take risks and choose the less frequented paths ways of life. Okay. What is the theme of the poem The Road Not Taken? Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken deals with the complexity of life. Life its ways are never woven in a straight line. Life provides many options. The web of life consists of many paths and subways. Naturally, this complexity of life confuses a person. Out of many options and alternatives, he has to make a choice, and that choice is very difficult to make. So, our success and failure depend on such type of choices. They are bold enough to face risks and challenges in life. So with this, children, I end my video here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.